The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, the man not afraid to sleep under stairs in his quest to stroke and knock on all the big eggs in the world, it's James.
No one can keep you away from him. Cradling the eggs. Pulling a gun out on the eggs. Admonishing the eggs.
And who's the private dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks? Planty! They say that Planty's a bad mother.
Shut your mouth. I'm being a mime.
But I'm talking about Planty. And we can dig it.
We can dig it. Sorry, I'm busy going to collect some mime material to go and kill this monster.
It's an audio medium.
What a film.
It doesn't work, does it? It doesn't work
No.
in any level.
If you want to keep up to date with the upcoming film choices and that, follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. Or if you are a deposed Nigerian warlord and want to recommend a film to us, you can email us at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com.
Or send us a puzzle. That's something new.
Yeah, send us a series of Scrabble tiles that spell out your name, not in a... Oh, fuck this film. I hate you, James.
Sorry, yeah, I picked this one.
Right, no bants, straight in. This week's film. 2014's Secret Past, aka A Christmas Mystery, even though neither of those things are true about this.
Yeah.
A Secret
Very
Past.
touch and go with that Christmas stuff. It's called A Secret Past, and it's obvious that was... They just stuck Christmas onto it because it was released on, November the 30th. So, yeah.
I will say, the front cover, like the DVD, makes it look like a taut, like police procedural sort of thing.
I know, that drew me in, actually.
Everything happens just to the right of camera, but yeah, it is not none of those things. It isn't a Hallmark film, but it is a Hallmark film.
It's Hallmark adjacent.
Yeah,
Very little doubt about that.
But unlike any other Hallmark film we have covered, this has like guns, muck duck, and a harpoon.
Is that what that was?
Let's have a harpoon.
He
Where
has
did
a
that come from?
I thought it was an electric cattle prod.
No, why would you have that on a boat? Harpoon.
I don't know.
In dock, you always carry your harpoon with you.
Why would you register your boat name as Betty, even though there's going to be like hundreds of thousands of them?
Yeah, I thought you had to give your boat like a funny name, like Wet Dreams or stuff like that, isn't it? That's like the rule.
Poseidon fucker, something like that. Yeah.
Mermaids knockers. Anyone got any more?
What I do know is that you shouldn't actually call your boat anything like that that's derogatory towards the sea, because that's bad luck. We learned that in one of the 100 films we've done so far.
Yeah. I mean, sailors are a superstitious bunch, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm only a little
Rory B.
suspicious.
Bellows.
Yeah. Right. Let's fucking right. Yeah. Whatever. Let's get into it. Oh no! Hang on. We've got to do all the other shit.
I can't hear all the sound effects. How will I know when it's arrived?
James. Oh shit! Where's the button for it?
you just flip me a little thing when it's loaded.
Right. No, I found it.
Freshly cooked. This is the random plot generator that's powered by you, our festive guests. It's decided today that it's called the Ding Dong Event Nutcracker of Suburban Palestine, and it's not changing its name.
That took a turn.
Chrissy Christmas, that's difficult to say, isn't it? Is a rural Christmas tree saleswoman who doesn't like Christmas because of her association with Christmas trees with death. Her perspective changes when she bumps into Eugene Mystery, a local sheriff who hunts tinsel in the wild and whose favourite thing about Christmas is dates, the fruit. You'd better pull up your stockings when John Cleese is let loose in a Yorkshire mansion and the unlikely duo must work together. Will they find that hidden recipe left in a poignant place? Outlook good! So that's
Did you
clearly
say-
building on some
Did
stuff.
you say John Cleese?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Fair
Or
enough.
John Cheese, whichever you prefer.
No,
Yeah,
no. I thought you
That's
said
clearly
John Creek.
building on John Creek. Local sheriff sort of mirrors the Santa incident that we listened to. That's the one with the Ghost Factory. You got to listen to that one.
Yes, that's a good
And
one.
then John Cleese, I imagine it's got from Father Christmas is Back, that terrible film. And yeah, hidden recipes are all throughout.
Oh, yeah. Does tinsel grow in the wild, like on a tree?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
stranded creeper, isn't it?
I don't know. I still
Don't
think
you-
that spaghetti growing on a tree thing was true from.
But you see tinsel on trees every year, so why wouldn't you believe that?
It's laid by
Ah.
the tinsel worm. Never mind.
The tinsel spider. The actual synopsis for this sack of shit. When a reporter discovers that her late mother had been receiving Christmas cards from a secret admirer, she decides to track him down for some reason. In the process, she'll discover a family secret more dangerous than she could have ever imagined. She has clearly never imagined anything dangerous ever.
Oh, danger. Oh.
Oh, a duvet. Oh, so dangerous.
This is the lowest stakes of any film we've watched yet.
Yeah, watching it going, I don't even know what they're doing out there.
I thought it would just end up being kind of all twee at the end, but it takes like half of a turn at the end. It
gets-
tries to take a turn, but it's just too late. It's just
It
too.
gets briefly exciting, and they miss a good opportunity for a James Bond pun that I'll get to when we get there.
All right, I'll settle in for that.
But let's start as we mean to continue.
Let's begin with tubular bells music.
It's Christmas, baby. It's not. And I can't remember how it starts. I'm literally my notes are basically just stuff happens.
It's a man stuffing his pants, badge and gun into a suitcase.
Oh, this.
Yeah,
prick.
it's the backstory. Yeah, so he goes downstairs with his suitcase to his loving family who are all dressed in the same colour jumper like psychopaths. And he says, "See you soon." And he leaves and he's been chased by the only other car on the street with headlights on.
I thought that would have been enough for me to go, maybe I won't do this. But,
Where's he gone?
oh,
There he is. It was that awful that he left.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I'm running
fine.
200 down and 75 up. So I don't see what the problem is.
It's probably fucking Zoom. It's fine. Yeah, he's chased down to the docks. I know a thing or two about the docks. And he gets on a boat and then like throws a picture into the water.
Yeah, I didn't get that. And yeah,
He's looking at a picture of his wife and kids, isn't he?
Yeah. And then he just goes, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, very casually flings it away. Like, oh, I'll never see them again.
Yeah, well, that's me. I'm off to Robert Maxwell myself on this boat now. Bye.
He goes down to the shitter, but there's a man there suddenly.
Right, was that what was supposed to be? Like someone was waiting for him, right?
Yeah.
Because I had no idea. I was too busy laughing at him just casually tossing that photograph into the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we get 25 years later.
New York, the Chrysler Building. Oh my God, it's happening again.
The big egg is still there, boys and girls. If they didn't remove it. And we're introduced to the fucking heroine of this film.
Yeah, Rebecca.
As in, if you injected it into your body, you would go numb because she's fucking out. Rebecca, hey, Rebecca, I heard you were working here till 11 o'clock last night, half 11. Why haven't you got home to go to? Like, go and pet all your cats.
Yeah, it's okay though because I had breakfast this morning, a balanced breakfast. A granola bar isn't a balanced breakfast, Rebecca.
Yeah,
Fucking hell, take him to HR.
Enjoy your ulcer at 32, Rebecca.
What's your balanced breakfast, lads? Just of interest.
I have a couple. I've recently only started having breakfast. I have an espresso and 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter on them.
Oh, nice.
I get a Hallmark film and I eat it very slowly
throughout the day. No.
Mine's a bag of scraps.
Oh yeah,
the secret is to take tiny bites. No, normally I can't eat that early in the morning, but like Harvey's insisted that I actually eat food so I don't die. So
she's so selfish.
Joseph needs food badly.
Just let me die in peace.
Anyway, a Redditor calls her into the office and we get a lot of "they want your sauces" and "over my dead body" kind of stuff.
It's
all the president's men down here.
It felt like it should have been, "I want your gun and your badge," but she's a reporter, so it's like, "I want your notepad and your hat that's got press written in it."
And then he suspends her for some obscure reason. And then she storms out and he goes, "Oh, Merry Christmas," passive aggressively at her.
Right. It's because she's reported on something which she shouldn't have done. And the guys got off with it because of insubstantial evidence.
Which is not her, that's not her domain.
No,
She's a reporter.
if she'd have like
Reporter of law.
if she'd have Little Legs Robinsoned it, and fucking nearly screwed the whole thing up, then yeah, he would have had a point.
Yeah.
But I don't think she did. I don't really understand but this has parallels to what happened to her father.
Yes.
Right, because that's the big twist, question mark, yeah.
But here's the thing, right? The biggest thing for me was she gets suspended for a month at Christmas. That's the dream,
That's
right?
fucking ideal,
Have
isn't
a
it?
month
Right.
off at Christmas. Great, thanks. See you in the new year.
That's 28 days of noggy goodness, yeah.
Of course it is.
Well, I mean, surely some of that's going to be annual leave anyway. Could you not suspend me like a week after as well, just so I get some? Otherwise,
That's
I'm just
March,
suspended
innit?
over
I don't-
time that I'll be off anyway.
It's March for me, my holiday resets, but yeah. But yeah, she's just like, great, have Christmas off. Cheers. Oh, no, don't.
It could be 2 months if you want.
All right, even better. Is this paid,
great.
by the way?
Bit of sunshine in February, thanks.
Oh, and actually, can it be even later because I've got to attend the funeral for my mum that I've not mentioned? So she goes to the funeral of her mum.
She goes home and she gets a phone call. What? You're joking? Yeah. And her mum's carked it, so she flies out to Los Angeles, I believe it is.
Allegedly.
I never knew where this was because
It looks
it's got
far
another
too-
picture of New York. So I thought, oh, well, it's just like, I don't know, another
It's
part of
only
New York then.
because the private eye guy says you're wearing a big coat in LA. And I was like, is
Oh,
it
much
LA?
later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
yeah,
assume-
see, I didn't get that.
But
I
it-
really.
No, it does look too damp to be LA.
Yeah, of course it did. It was quite blatantly, I don't know, LA in Ontario or something.
Yeah, British Columbia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
This priest is reading the thing, and I thought he was doing Johnny Cash's "The Man Comes Around."
It was
And
very.
I heard, as it were, the noise of a thunder of one of four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse.
I was going to say, I want him to do my funeral because he at least put a bit of razzmatazz into it, didn't he? Like,
He
it's
did.
good. Yeah. It's not like just ashes to ashes, funk to funky, is it? Yeah. And then we're introduced to John not appearing in this film, Ratzenberger, even though he's third credit on the thingy, on the poster.
I think they made a mistake. And without meaning to fat shame, because I'm a fat lad, is this not the man who ate John Ratzenberger? Because boy, he a chunky monkey.
He discovered a meal between breakfast and brunch. Yeah.
And at no point does he wear a belt, which bothered me throughout the whole of this film. in both the scenes he's in, spoilers.
All his
he's
trousers
not
are on
got a belt
critical. No.
Like, how does he keep his trousers up? Sheer eating. That's
Yeah,
how.
it's cheaper in the long run.
They were clown trousers. They turned out to be the most comfortable trousers he'd ever worn.
All the wear and tear on his trousers, and his
And his daughter?
who
Mary.
I don't think
So,
had a
yeah.
name. Oh, Mary. We should
Yeah,
call
Mary. She doesn't appear in it later on. So he's Logan Walker and she's Mary Walker. And they helped her out when her mum was.
I think
don't
when
know,
her
they'd
dad
fallen out or something.
died, they sort of helped step in and like he acted as a sort of surrogate father figure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think there's some mention about her mum, Ratzenberger's wife, dying and it being a similar. Yeah, it's intertwined and means nothing. It means nothing.
None of it pays off because Ratzenberger basically goes, "Hey, you might want to, and that's it. That's all he does. He's like, you're part of the family now. So don't feel bad about coming round or something." And Mary, God bless Mary, this is the only film she's ever done, I'm hoping, because she is terrible. Yes, that is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a matter of uncross those eyes, missus.
It was so difficult to know what her name was. They were so abruptly introduced that I got no idea who they were. I had to look them up. She goes back to the family home though.
No,
where there's
Rebecca, before she does that,
Oh,
there's
go
a
on.
mysterious car watching.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she takes
Oh,
a
yeah.
picture of it and then it drives away.
And there's a
And
man.
then she thinks nothing of it.
Oh, Agent Smith. Yeah.
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 She
Anyway.
goes back to the family home and goes,
Yeah, there's
right.
a man waiting menacingly outside. It's the same place where when her dad fucked off, there was a car waiting there menacingly. There's just always one there. It's
It's
like
just
one of
on-
them taxi ranks.
But for Lincoln Continentals.
Yeah, I was gonna... Oldsmobile ran earlier.
Anyway,
this
she
year.
gets it, ignores all of that because no one ever notices, even though they've got all the lights on and everything.
Yeah,
and she goes home to a house filled with a top hat, a sailor's hat, and a statue of a pear.
Right. I wouldn't give a fuck about potentially losing my job if I'd just inherited a house big enough to fit a baby grand piano in.
I was gonna say, like, and this is a thing I've made a point of, is that like American houses are massive. Like,
American
if you're not
houses are fucking massive.
if you're not in like a city like New York, I imagine the apartments there, but even then, I imagine they're fucking massive compared to my house. It's just, that must have like ridiculous amounts of floor space. It's got an attic she goes up into that's all decked out for storage. It's not like my attic where it's just pipe lagging and spiders. Like, it's but yeah, she's a prize-winning journalist? Question.
Oh yeah, she's got like name recognition from random B&B owners and stuff.
Oh yeah, that comes out of nowhere later on.
So she's like, right, this sad snow globe thing that plays a fucking haunting child's tune.
Plays Greensleeves. What's Greensleeves got to do with Christmas?
Well, you see, Henry VIII wrote it. Drunk on eggnog. I can't think. But yeah, and then we have as she walks in, she flashes, there's like a potted plant in the corner.
Yeah.
And she flashes back to her
Christmas
as a child.
collision time.
With her mum, going, I love you, mum. And she goes, yeah.
I must have zoned out here because I'd just written, ginger tree dressing Christmas ghosts.
That's what they're both doing that. And then she holds up this thing and she goes, when's Dad coming back? And then this is the weirdest bit. She goes, your dad loved that Greensleeves mobile.
Yeah.
As long as you're holding that, you're never alone. And I was like, what the fuck are you on about?
I mean, she is alone in this house right now.
Yeah.
And then I bet it's not going to be relevant after this, sarcastically. And then it never was. It completely blindsided me.
There might be a clue in it or something.
I thought there'd be at least a recipe.
She goes on this cleaning up, packing up montage, and all that was missing was what I want. You get to find to handle, and then like a robot helping her clean up that goes berserk.
If she slid across the door in just like a shirt and a shirt. I'm going to do this, and then she packs up like all her mum's stuff, puts like some pillows. Where are you going to sleep? Why are you putting the pillows away for?
This kitchen, I'll get this out of the way now because we'll come to it later on. This kitchen that she packs up, completely packed up, is a completely different kitchen later in the program. In the film, when Mr. Handsome McAbs comes round and says, "Have you got a percolator?" And then I lost my shit over the percolator because I couldn't put two and two together as to what was going on.
Well, yes, and we will get to that.
Yeah,
it's so big that it's got two kitchens, one with a kitchen island in it.
One's the servants' quarters, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Does Mary come round and say?
She does, yeah. Because she goes through this box and it's got a mum's digital camera in it, and she flicks through that and her box called Catherine's Personals, and I personally wouldn't go anywhere near that.
I was disappointed there was no tits on that camera. It was just like a picture of a cactus, some flowers, like a goat, and then that car.
Yeah.
Which I thought was strange because she used her phone to take the picture of but whatever, we don't worry about that.
Anyway, she gets Mary to come round so that they can have a look at these Christmas cards. What's the weird thing about these Christmas cards, everyone?
They're all signed with a heart.
Yeah,
they've not got postage marks on, but later on we find out that they follow the postage marks.
Which apparently isn't a thing in America. Apparently, it's like the USPS stamp. I don't know. Any Americans out there?
Americans get in touch.
Yeah. Send us a creepy.
No,
card.
don't send us things. I don't want stuff. But if because here, if you send a letter, you go and post a letter from Manchester to Hull, it'll have a Manchester stamp on it. And vice versa.
A Manchester stamp, is that like Morrissey instead of the Queen?
Yeah, it's just Morrissey crying.
John Cooper Clarke.
Frank Sidebottom's head. No, but you put the King's stamp now on it, and then it gets franked with like Manchester or Hull or wherever it is you are, so you can tell roughly where it's been posted. But apparently in America, that's not a thing. It's just poof, that's it, and it's done. Which is why you should always put return address on stuff as well, people.
Anyway, she's worried that the sender, the creepy sender, doesn't know that she's dead, even though she's clearly not answered any of these cards. Not even opened them. They were sealed.
Her first thought here is, what about this stalker my mum's got, not knowing she's dead? That is the saddest thing in the world.
Him that killed her.
Exactly. Fucking hell.
It was a heart attack. She died too young. That old lady at the wedding said so. At the funeral said so.
Oh, yes, I've got the wedding.
And so she's like, right, the first thing I'll do is hunt down this random cipher
Yeah, Mary's
Yeah.
got Mary's dad, who I provisionally at this point put down as Bilbo, Logan. He has got a friend who used to be in the military, who's a PI called Andrew, and she said, "Oh, I'll put you
Andrew
in touch with him."
Steele.
Is that his surname?
That's his full name, Andrew
Oh,
Steele.
fuck off!
Yeah, boy.
One more run around the table, please, lads. for this
Chopper
one.
Harris. Yeah. And she's like, oh well, I won't use that because I'm an investigative journalist and I can solve this myself. And then immediately goes, I best phone him, Anna, because I'm not very good at this.
On my
Being
BlackBerry.
Being a woman, yeah.
Well, she does make an attempt at it because she Googles something called benny's-basement.com.
What?
Yeah, she does. She's on
Where
Benny's
did
basement.com, which
did
is where
this
Buffalo
happen?
Bill keeps his victims.
I was going to say, put the lotion in a basket.
I've just punched it into Google, but it doesn't come up with anything, which is a bit disappointing.
What, you thought they were going to, you thought the team, a Christmas mystery team, were going to like do a viral marketing campaign of Benny's Basement.com.
Well, we tried this before, didn't we, with Deadly Cyberbully?
Yes,
Which I
we
think
did.
might be related to this in some way, actually. I think it's got the same.
It's equally as
In
shit.
the fact that it's bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes. But that came up with something. It was like busybee.com or something.
Yeah, it was something
Anyway,
like that,
It's
weren't
not,
it?
it's not important. But yeah, I tried it. Doesn't work.
But yeah, so she phones him up and agrees to meet him in what I think is the bar from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I'm not sure.
Looks a
It
little bit
does,
like
yeah,
it.
Shaw's.
Yeah, it looks like Shaw's.
Is this? They've got a board in the background. I couldn't remember if it was here or if it was in her job, and it also has got Christmas decorations and things. Except for right in the middle, it says "Happy Hanukkah," and I was kind of like, "Oh, there's your inclusivity, lads.
There you
You're gonna
go.
have to get the tick."
We've done it. We've solved the problem.
It's officially a Hanukkah film now, one of the 3 that exists.
So she goes, right, this was the bit that I sort of chuckled a little bit at this because she goes into Shaw's, looks around and sees an old man stood at the bar. And she immediately goes, that must be the private eye. And then goes over him and some old lady just drags him off for a quick feel up in the toilets or something.
In an elevator. Yeah.
His pill's just kicking in, yeah. She then gets pulled over by Andrew Steele, who says, oh, you must be Rebecca because you're wearing a big jacket and your shoes are shit and you're holding your phone weird. And she goes, wow, you're like Sherlock. But even
I always
more
find
of
this
a-
irritating.
Yeah, it is.
At least in like the new Sherlock Holmes films, he's a bit of a bellend, so it kind of evens out, like, you know. But yeah, he just does the whole thing of. I mean, there is a mildly entertaining thing where he's sizing up this woman and his fiance. There's a man and he's chatting up a woman and they have a kiss, and then it turns out that he's called his fiance,
Yeah,
and she
that
comes
was-
round.
That's his current job. Is to be tailing
It's
this.
ruining marriages. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's a spinning instructor, and that's her. And he's getting married this week or something.
To
It's
another
like-
ginger. A lot of gingers in
Like
this film.
it's a lot of gingers, and this lassie comes in because the spinning instructor's wearing not clothes. I don't know what she's wearing.
She's wearing
it's
like
like a-
gym gear.
Yeah, and then the girlfriend, the fiance, comes in, and I was like, "That va 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 boom! Hey, she good looking. What you doing with a spinning instructor? Other than
means-
spinning."
He's trying to learn how to spin hay into gold or whatever.
That's exactly what he's doing. But couple of bits here that I had massive issues with. One, how flat was his beer?
Oh,
He
mate.
bought that beer over. It looked like it was poured in London.
Oh, it was shocking. That.
It was disgusting.
The fact that she went Chardonnay as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
No, it was Pinot Grigio. Wasn't
Pinot
it? And she
Grigio,
doesn't-
sorry.
It's a fucking full glass, that one, and she doesn't even touch it. It was
No,
a
it's-
crime.
And then she pays for it. And then but this bit just rankled with me, something rotten.
Go on.
You went to boarding school, in London, and I was like, oh, so that's how they're going to explain why her accent's so bad. And it was from here on in that I realised how bad her American accent was, because she's actually British.
Yep.
Yes.
And it was only from here on in did I realise how bad the accent was. If they'd not said anything, I'd have just accepted her as being some sort of mouthy American.
Some
Well,
sort
actually,
of
that bit of dialogue is great because it's that you spent your time abroad. I'm going to say England, London. It's like, yeah, that's in England.
Yep. Well done.
Got that one right.
Not a separate country like a lot of people think it is.
There's a lot of backstory here about somebody called Charles Peterson had a case with
Well-
Logan and her dad that got thrown out of court.
For insufficient evidence or evidence tampering or something. I fuck knows.
Supposition.
Yeah.
Some sort.
But Andrew Steele knows all about this because he's fucking Rain Man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah.
She hands him the cards and he goes, "Oh, a Christmas mystery, eh?"
Yeah, and then he goes, "I'll dust those for fingerprints." What, these cards that have been in a box for 25 fucking years?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, mate.
And you've all had your hands all over.
No,
for the last
he
2 days.
picks it up with a napkin. I'm like, I ain't going to make no odds at this point. It's not a murder weapon, son. And he's like, right, I'll be in touch. And she leaves a full glass of wine. And I'd be furious. I've paid for that. You're drinking it.
He also says I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but he lost both his parents in a tragic boating accident or something.
It's always
And
a
they've got
tragic
this
yachting
weird.
Oh, no, his
bond.
dad was a fireman who
Right.
died, and his mum just died. She just got bored of Andrew Steele and was like, oh, fuck it. She voluntarily stopped her heart beating like that sad dolphin did. Yeah.
Oh, the one that the woman molested.
Oh, I don't know. No, I just remember.
I don't know.
I just
You know the
remember
woman that just molested dolphins?
Is that like the men who stare at goats?
Well, yes, but it was also
Sexier.
that was a naval thing. Like she was paid for years to
she
kind of
was.
touch up dolphins.
She had to live with them and stuff, didn't she?
And she thought that would
was
help her get into their inner sanctum. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I remember reading about
Yeah.
that. It was like a whole thing, and then it just defunded it, and and I think that the dolphin she was wanking off killed itself.
That's right, yeah, because was no longer there.
Because it was
to
no
toss
longer
Where's
there.
the film about that?
Yeah,
The women that wanked off a dolphin. Well, I told you, I watched The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Killed Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And it was
How
not
many
what I
dolphins
thought.
did he wank off?
None.
Disappointing.
It was actually really good. But it's mostly Sam Elliott just doing Sam Elliott stuff, like being grumpy
that's
and
what
having a
that's what you
moustache.
pay the entrance fee for.
No,
isn't
but
it?
but I was expecting like a sci-fi film of like a man killing Hitler, and then Bigfoot comes in, and then he has to finish him off as well. Like, but no, just this woman finishing off dolphins.
I see you're in Hitler's bunker as well, Bigfoot.
Oh, look, and there's the Jersey Devil as well. It could be a whole series of stuff. But no, if you get the chance, watch it. It's very good. It's very sad. It's made me
The
cry.
man who
at the end.
shoved his fist up the Jersey Devil's ass.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you?
Oh, you would.
Got buns of steel, that boy. But
Moving
yeah. anyway,
A much better film than what we're talking about here.
we can crowdfund this. The woman that wanked off a dolphin and then fought Bigfoot.
And then fisted the Jersey Devil. Yeah.
That's the sequel. And then and she's like, oh, so I know what it's like not to have parents. And it's like, well, you had a parent until a couple of weeks back. Like, oh, but you didn't talk to her because it was something. Lemon drizzle. Yeah.
She then goes back to look at old family snaps on the laptop of her dad, who always looked like a blur.
Oh,
right.
I'm going to have to get pictures of these because this is some top quality A-grade Photoshop.
This looks like, each of these looks like the Burke and Hare posters. Do you remember those when that movie came out? Those people had never been in the same camera shot ever.
No. Her dad's head's massive. Like, my head's massive, but his is just like really close to the camera massive.
And he's slightly out of focus and they're not.
Did you ever see that thing of person that paid someone to like touch up their photographs of their family? And they just smoothed all their faces out and made it like a Doctor Who villain. It's fucking terrifying. It's tremendous, and I love this. This was the highlight of the film, was her just looking at them wistfully and me going, "What's wrong with his face? Is that his dad? Was he in a fire?"
It was really bad. And she looks through this a bit, and then we cut to the menacing car that is still outside, but he's parked it the other way right now, so that he switched it up a bit. So it's not like, oh, there's that car waiting there menacingly. It's just across the road now. Anyway, next morning there's a ring at the door. It's the PI. She's just in her dressing gown, and he's come in one of them leather biking jackets.
Yeah, because he's a cool dude.
And she says, "I don't remember telling you where I lived." He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm a private investigator. I brought you breakfast." Never eats it. She never has anything.
Boss brings her breakfast, but doesn't bring coffee. Like, he's been and bought, I don't know, bagels or whatever. Didn't think to get coffee.
Exactly.
Thought
He
he'd come
doesn't
in and
need
go,
to get coffee because she's got this magical glass percolator that you can put on a stove.
He can
And
make
my
coffee
shit
wherever
was
he
lost.
is.
Enjoy
With
picking
skills like
lumps
that.
of glass out of your face, Steele.
Oh, it was just that is
And
the
have you,
weirdest
have you
bit
got
of
any
all of
coffee?
this.
Yeah, it's the only other thing in a cupboard in this kitchen, which is not the kitchen from before.
She
She
packed
hasn't
it all
packed this
away.
one up yet.
She packed the whole kitchen away, leaving this kitchen behind.
Leaving two things that go together but don't work with anything in the thing. Oh,
Also, how did you find my address? It's on all these cards you've given me, you daft bin.
Well, yeah.
oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that's a peek behind the magician's mask there, isn't it? Yeah. This fucking conversation. Oh, I found out that one of these envelopes is from a town 4 hours away.
It was 3 hours away, and they had to stop the night. Joe, it's like me driving to your house. I don't stop the night.
I mean, you can if you want. I wouldn't recommend it
thanks.
at the moment. Just there's a lot of people here. And
It's 3 hours. Like it's 3
It's-
hours to get from my house to
Americans-
yours. Dead easy.
Americans are always whinging that British people like, oh, it's 20 miles away. I won't go and visit them.
Yeah.
And yet 3 hours apparently is a long time.
Yeah.
Idiots.
On
but
those
yeah.
roads with a car like that.
Yeah.
Whoa, I should Coco.
Well, it's so long that she falls asleep in the car because she's not had any coffee because of the fucking weird machine. That he fills it up with water and then he puts like some coffee in the top of it
Yeah.
and then puts it on the stove. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you insane?
I assume he's hoping that droplets will right. I don't know. None of that makes
No,
sense.
It's just frustrating.
I don't know why she has to go anyway.
Because she's
She-
she's off work.
Oh
right?
yeah, she's got nothing to do. That's
It'll
true.
distract her from her mum's death.
Yep.
And you know,
Question mark. Profit. Yeah.
Profit.
Yeah, and he is kind of fit. You know, that's what it's about, isn't it?
That's what
kind
it's
of
really
fit.
all about.
If you're
I
into
did
that
write
sort of-
down when it was that old man at the bar. I thought it's not going to be him. It's going to be a hot piece. And then
Yeah.
that man appeared, and Katie was watching over my shoulder and just gave me that look of, "Is there something you're not telling me?"
Well, yeah, it's in. Is it
He's definitely on niceboys.com or whatever.
Ab-
Oh, absolutely.
non-threatening boys? It's like Emmetsville or something. This town.
Hadleyville.
Hadleyville.
Hadleyville. Tony
Yeah.
Hadleyville. It's true.
So true.
um,
I mean, to get there, they had to go through the barricades.
ah.
Yeah. But on the way, she's like, "Oh, are you sure you've not got like some element of personality?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm into dogs." And he's got
Yeah.
this dog called Murray, which I
I'm
quite like as a dog
disappointed
name.
it wasn't called Barkley.
Yeah, well, quite.
And I've got to say, I love dogs, as everybody knows. But this dog was the ugliest dog I've ever seen
Oh,
on any
no.
film.
He
No,
was
it was.
fine.
Oh, it had the just the most depressed eyes of any dog.
I know,
Well,
and that
he's-
just makes you want to,
No.
cheer
No,
it up.
no.
Nothing will ever get through to
He
it,
didn't
and
want to
it'll
be
always
in
get-
this film. He auditioned for like Wishbone and that one with Nurse Gladys Emanuel in it.
Titanic too.
He was working on his sweet rap. Rapping. I'm rapping.
Party
rapping.
time. It's party time.
And he's just like, also not really anything in this film, but she's like, oh, dogs. And anyway, yeah, they take this drive out, a lovely drive up the coast. It looked like it looked quite like nice.
Yeah, because she says, "Oh, it's not my scene." What, a place that's fucking gorgeous and warm in December.
And when they get out the car, they're in Point Break, and I was like, "Wow, that's amazing! Yeah,
Yeah.
go for that."
It's lovely little seaside town. All the Christmas decorations are up because it's Christmas, because it's a Christmas mystery. And she's like, "This is fucking horrible. I want to go back to New York where I can smell the urine in the air."
It's red hot here. I hope you're not going to take that dog out. You better leave that dog in that hot car.
Dogs die in hot cars.
Well, apparently so. Yeah. Now, it's a misdemeanor to leave your dog in a hot car in California. I found out.
Oh.
Good.
So, yeah.
Don't do it.
Just
No.
don't do it.
They go to the post office, which is home to 7 poinsettias,
Well, it's Christmas.
which I think is our record so far.
Oh, that's the
actually.
most amount of poinsettias in one shot.
It's cheap set dressing, in it? Poinsettias, they're only like £3 a pop.
Yeah, you get a discount. 7. you get a
Discount poinsettia shop.
That's what she ordered from. What was it? Jeremy's
Discount
basement or
poinsettias.com.
whatever.
Benny's basement.
Benny's basement. Yeah.
Benny's hyphen basement. Yeah.
Benny's
Surely
hyphen
you don't get a
basement
lot of
and
sunlight.
discount poinsettias.
Yeah, because they've
This
traced it back to
fucking
this
old woman, right,
Alma.
Yeah.
is a menace.
Right. I've written, show her a picture of your superimposed dad, and it'll be dead easy. She'll just go, "Oh yeah, that's superimposed, man. I know him."
She went, "What's wrong with his face?" Film over.
She goes from being the queen of GDPR to
Oh,
let
yeah.
them rifle through some unclaimed mail.
Yeah. It's like I've got all these photographs I've been taking with my long
Oh,
lens as well. Do you want to have a look?
because he figures out that her son is in the military.
Oh, right. Well,
and-
fucking hell.
this is some fucking Jonathan Creek bullshit. This, right? She goes, no, I can't do that, because it's all her stuff as well is just written on a notepad on the desk.
Yeah.
By the way, all it's top secret. Which was
So I deduced that.
yeah, and he says, oh, he came in every year and paid in cash, which is strange. Is it? I don't know. 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
So no, not really.
No, not really. And yeah, but he's not been here for some time now. And can you tell us anything about him? No, I can't. And then
He was a man with very few features on his face,
Yeah.
except that he was
He looked
incredibly large.
he looked like he'd been photoshopped into pictures.
How far away is he?
He always looked like a smudge.
It's like the silence in Doctor Who. You can't ever remember looking at him. Second Doctor Who reference of the episode. Yeah, and but then he goes, oh, but her mum died, and this could be her only link to a family.
And you're close to death, so
and you're nearly dead. And I used to be a Marine, and then he literally says that I used to be in the army, and she goes, oh, okay then. Yeah, here's all the information you need. I've got
Incline mail, yeah.
and I've got all this shit in the back. Yeah. Just go and have a tumble around in it, like
help yourself to any of the lost mail that's come into this town in the last 30 years. I am the gatekeeper of all of it.
And they find it in a matter of minutes.
Alma, are you not meant to dispose of that or send it off to like Hospice or something? She's just hoarding it. She just loves it.
It's like a dragon with coins.
Alma. Oh.
And this Columbo bit, fucking hell, right? So he's like, how did you know all of those things? And he's like, oh, she's a widow because she'd got a tan mark on a thing and she still wears the ring around her neck. And she'd got a notepad, it was written something or other. And there was a sticker of the army, but it was from 20 years ago. So it was probably a grandson. And I'm like, just one more thing. Just one more thing.
Just wanted him to do a shit in an anorak. It would have been so much better. Because it was just like, oh, she's got heart medication. And from where he was, he could read the labels on the medication.
Yeah, which is across the desk.
So he's some sort of cyborg from the future as well. But he goes like, oh, it was propylene and this, that, and the other. Yeah. And then Rebecca goes, oh, those are the medications you take after a heart attack. And I was like, what is this fucking Chicago Fire? No, that's fire engines, isn't it? Chicago
Med.
It was just
drama hospital.
It just hurt my brain. But yeah, they find the information that they need, which is another breadcrumb of a clue, which leads them to
they go to like the job center or something, whatever their equivalent is of the job center. It doesn't exactly spell out what it is, but it's a government place.
It's the government building. I think it's just like the Hall of Records.
Yeah, that sort of style of thing. And
they go and speak to Sneezy Daniels.
Yeah, big allergic to dogs acting.
Yeah, this is good. This is his big part. He says, oh, we have the information here, but you can't have it because, GDPR, isn't it? Like, I can't go giving out information about people willy-nilly. What do you think this is? And then they keep rubbing a dog on him, and he keeps sneezing. And Andrew just straight up steals his key card, which, as a government employee, I'm fairly sure that's a crime of some kind.
Is he a government employee?
He works for the government, doesn't he? Because he's got access to all, like, the voting records and...
Oh, right, yeah. He used to do some work for the military, anyway. Yeah, anyway, it's not legal to take somebody's key card and then fuck off with it.
No, but this was the bit as well. He goes, oh, my girlfriend gets a bit excited, and she goes, I'm not your girlfriend, and he goes, women. And I was like, mate, what is happening here?
She doesn't cotton on very quickly that it's a ruse. Like, oh, how dare you do that? Oh, we're undercover.
This is what we call acting, dear.
They go to a back office that that man can't get into because he doesn't have his key card.
I think this is like the server room or something.
It's the room of servers, desks, and very, very low partitions.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
As they're going in there, though, a man comes out and leaves the door open and goes, yeah, it's lunch. I'm going over the way to get a burger. And I was like, good acting.
But he does it in a real kind of like a kind of bit bro. He's like, yeah, bro, it's lunchtime. It's time to go get a burger. You're like, mate, chill the fuck out. You're not in the Chrysler building.
If there's any eggs in Whirligig or whatever it's called, this fucking town. But they break into this thing and do some hacking by just typing really quickly. This is all hacking, isn't it? Really? And
there's a lot of hacking in this film.
And they find out some more information. The next fucking
Yeah, get his
breadcrumb.
social security number and I think a mobile phone number.
Yeah.
I don't know what piece of evidence that is.
Fuck knows. And they'd have to do a bit of hiding, and then
Right. So the guy realizes he hasn't got his pass, doesn't he? And he's like, "Oh, I haven't got my pass." So he goes to get his mate to let him in. He's like, "Cool, it happens all the time. Don't lose it though. It cost me $40. It should cost you your fucking job, mate. Is what it should cost you." And then he lets him in. And then he goes, "Oh, look, it was here all along." And he takes the pass and he leaves without whatever he was going in the room for in the first instant because he's not written. He also has a bit of a sneezy here with the dog hiding behind the
high
thing.
Stakes stuff. You said there were no stakes in this film.
So wrong.
Wow.
The stakes are too high because that is how allergies work, of course.
Yep, immediately.
Yeah.
The area of effect on that dog is
the AOE of the dog. And then they go back to the hotel.
Yeah, they go and get a B&B, don't they?
They go to the B&B.
Oh.
Right, he's phoning someone outside, and she phones someone as well. I can't remember. She's just looking whimsically off into the distance. I can't remember. And she goes, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he's, "Oh, no, nothing. It's just another job or something." And I thought, right, has he phoned the hotel and gone, "Say you've only got one room." Right, because that's a ploy, isn't it? That's like a wink, wink. Oh, we can share the double bed. Wink, wink. Yeah,
because non-union James Nesbitt comes out at this point and says,
this guy
got one room."
Non-union Brad Garrett, Raymond.
This guy. Fucking hell. Right. There's no one on reception when they come into this B&B.
Oh, what, the fucking Shining? But you've always been here, Rebecca.
They come in, right, and they walk about a bit, and then there's like a of someone like scuttling through the shadows. I'm like, what is going on here? And then like they're about to leave, and some guy goes, "Yeah, you're not going. You've got to stay here now." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to. Oh, we've only got one room. You could try elsewhere, but they book up before us. That'll be $80." I'm like, "You're a terrible host. If this was 4 in a bed, I would not return."
Yeah, I've got to say, with all the scurrying about of people, they've been on her from the start. Like, they've constantly got a car parked outside a house, ready for when she finds this bit of information, and then they'll tail her all the way to a B&B where they'll scuttle around. It's just very, very high maintenance work, this.
Also, for a reporter who's supposed to have her eyes and ears and stuff open to things that are happening, she sees none of this.
No.
But she's award-winning.
She lets him go and take a shower while she takes the dog for a walk.
She then talks to the dog.
Yeah.
Talks to the dog. Is he single? Does he like crisps? What's his favorite music? Has he ever been to Acapulco? And I'm like, it's a fucking dog. It ain't gonna. Also, if that person behind her was just like, yeah, she walks the dog. Probably doesn't clean the shit up because she wouldn't do, would she? Just leaves it there. Someone else's responsibility. That goes back in. He's just got out of the shower, which seems to be a common trope I've noticed now of her sneaking a peek in like that. Wait, his dong flapping about the place. He's got a towel between his legs doing the floss thing.
She's more than happy to perv on him until she sees he's horribly disfigured.
Yeah, he's got like a man without a face on his back.
I thought Michael Ironside in Total Recall. I was expecting his little brother to go, "Yeah."
But yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just come out with no shirt on. Maybe we can do a bit more work, and then we'll go and get dinner."
And he does a little laugh as well as he says it. And then he went out thinking that looked really cool.
But he's put a wife beater on though, right? And then he's like, "I'll give you 15 minutes to get ready." He's downstairs in like a full suit.
Yeah.
And she comes down, "Right, we're only stopping overnight, so make sure you pack a fucking ball gown with you."
Yeah, I wondered if he'd just gone off to like a suit shop or something. It didn't make any sense. They go for a fancy dinner with a place with a live band.
Go on.
They have a dance here, and it's like, "Would you like to dance to a fucking carol? You're dancing to like Good King Wenceslas or something."
It's Jazz Wenceslas, though, isn't it?
Oh well, great.
I'm a big fan of that, though. I think we should do that in Britain. We should have you can have dinner, and then we move all the tables, and everyone just has a bit of a dance. That'd be good.
It's called a wedding.
I mean, he softened her up by talking to her about war and trauma first, and then she asked about Christmas memories. Natural follow-on from that conversation. His mum also made weird collages, Christmas collages for his dad. She says, even when he was dead.
Notes every time. Weird, she cut pictures out of things and made notes out of
burnt the eyes out with a cigarette. Come Come home, Papa. Come home.
Yes, give me $1 million or you'll never see your daughter again.
It was weird that because he's like, oh, I get sad around Christmas time because when I was serving and all the people whose families never got to see them again. And I'm like, do you mean the Americans or the brown people you killed?
What was he serving? Soup?
No, he was in the thick of it, wasn't he, with the ponies?
Quite a way behind enemy lines.
Guildford, actually. I should have took his finger in the tank. No, didn't I, Eddie? I don't know. This is all a load of bollocks. But yeah, they have this little dance and like, oh, they're falling in love with each other. Where's the dog?
Yeah.
Oh, Murray's guard dogging.
It's back at home with a massive sack of Royal Canin or something.
Yeah. And they come back, and has the room been ransacked at this point?
It has.
Yes.
A couple of things have been moved, yeah.
Yeah, so someone's been in and touched all the stuff.
Somebody's
moved all the bras around.
Done something to a phone. What do you call it? Like
they put like a chip on it or something.
Yeah.
Because that's how easy it is. You just boop, that's that done. Yeah. It was shite. But it was a mysterious, shadowy figure.
No, he comes into the room and the dog's just sleeping there, and he just picks up the dog.
Yeah.
And then puts it in another room.
That's fine. Murray's shit.
Yeah. Well, later on, they go, right, Murray, you need to look after Rebecca. Why would you rely on him now? He did a shit job when Rebecca wasn't even there.
You had your chance, Murray.
And you blew it.
But yeah, and she's like, oh, someone's been in here and touched all my bras and stuff. And he's like, oh, well, I'll go and sleep in the car or something. The police show up. This copper, I know
he's got a chip on his shoulder.
I know the police are bastards, but this guy doesn't even try and do his job.
No,
he goes, "I know who you are, and I know what you think about cops." So
I'm biased from the start.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Well, can I have another cop then, please? That isn't a prick." She's like, "I'll file a report so that if anything happens, you've got a police number. But other than that, I'm not doing anything." And I was like, "All right, well, I've got your badge number, and I'm recording all of this."
Yeah. So she's
again,
only got
this never went anywhere because I was thinking, oh, maybe it's the police that are onto her. Yeah. Nope.
She gets given the dog, even though he's just a fluffy clown. He's not going to do anything. He goes off to kip in his car, I think, Andrew. So,
just to solve some crimes, or I don't know, do some Tai Chi on a beach with no top on. Yeah.
Baked biscuits for a dog shelter. Yeah, that sort of thing.
And she goes, "No sleeping on the bed," and the dog's already asleep on the bed. And she goes,
No.
Oh, Jesus.
She has a bad dream. It's not worth talking about. She goes
down.
It was
good, that. She's like, dun, 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 and she opens the shower, and there's a man with a gun. And then she wakes up and goes, rah, and throws the dog across the room. That dog's had a fucking day of it, hasn't it? Yeah.
So he's run the social security number, and he's got an address for his old workplace, which is Captain Kidd's Diner, which does chicken gumbo and raw prawns. Nothing else.
Don't come the raw prawn with me.
Yeah,
you deserve botulism if you're going to eat that, especially
from what was it, Captain Caveman's Captain Kidd's.
It's got a lot going on. It's
Captain
sort of
Kidd's raw prawns. You know what kids want? Raw prawns. No, Mum, I want turkey dinosaurs. Eat your prawn.
He worked there for 12 years, but then he ran away. So yeah.
And at no point did anyone think, what happened to Malcolm? He kept himself to himself, but he was a good worker. 12 years. You must have gone for a drink with him.
I know,
something must have slipped out at some point. He wasn't like he was a fucking Manchurian candidate or something. Like, you know what I mean?
I know. Are those not some of the words? Raw prawn, Captain Kidd's raw prawns. Is that what activated him?
I activated him, and he's like, must throw photo in lake.
They've got his address, his last known address, which is up near a place, and it says on a street sign, Knob Hall. And I thought, that's clever.
Yeah. This guy as well, like, no GDPR or anything like that with him. He's like, any information you want, you can have it. Do you want some prawns as well? I've got buckets of them out the back. They stink. So they go again, like, it's so many steps. It's literally like the worst procedural, because it's just literally one piece of information to another piece of information to another piece. There's nothing in between to flesh
It's like
out.
a scavenger hunt.
Yes.
That's all it is.
And then they go to his address at Knob Hall.
This neighbour, what do you want? And so, we want to see. Oh, yeah, he just up and left. I told Ellen not to let anyone in without a credit check. All right, you twat.
Yeah, who are you?
What a fucking know-all.
Yeah, I'd have yeeted him off that balcony into the ocean.
Well, then there's some thinly veiled threat on him, isn't there? Oh, yeah, you've obviously been very busy at the hospital, and we'd hate for your wife and child to something to happen to them.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, take as long as you want, sir.
Bombing all them corpses.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
how did you know? Well, smelt of death.
Yeah. What time would you like your pancakes, sir?
Yeah. And he's like, all right, I'll give you 15 minutes to turn this house over.
He says, would 15 minutes do? It'll be plenty. And you're like, fucking hell. You've gone from being, he's gone from being this fucking gatekeeping little bastard who's a smart ass about how to let houses out, even though he doesn't own his own house and lets a house from this woman.
And to corpses.
Yeah, exactly. To now all of a sudden wanting to lie down for this guy because he's hot and he's chiseled abs or something.
I mean, I didn't say that, but yeah. She goes looking through her mum's digital camera, which she's taken with her, realizes that the beach nearby is where she's taken a photo
that beach.
of herself.
And he goes, yeah, it's a lovely beach. And I'm like,
no,
sorry,
it's this lovely beach, you twat.
You knew he had Crocs on and bummed corpses, but you didn't know that. Fucking hell.
But this camera as well, by the way, looks like one of the first digital cameras from
does,
like
yeah.
2002, doesn't
But
it?
that is what my mum would have.
I swear to God.
Ditto.
We bought my mum a digital camera, and it had 4 megapixels. Like everyone was made of Lego, and it had a weird proprietary memory card that you could only get for this thing, and you could hold 16 photos on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Oh, that Christmas, you've got to really squint to find out what was going on. But yeah, she's like, so she was here. She must have been here. So she knew him. And I'm like, well, I'm fairly sure some random dude wasn't just sending her cards every year.
Yeah, it's not much of a way to go, that is it?
She weren't
courses through this apartment looking for clues. It's already had people rooting through it, and he just finishes it off by finding a drawer with a false base, which he cuts out. It's filled with photos. I wouldn't look at any of them. Oh no,
no. It's just full of that guy bumming corpses. No, but he goes.
That's why he was there. Yeah,
he's hiding them or retrieving them. How did you know that was there? Because that's where I'd hide stuff.
Yeah. What? All right, you fucking pervert.
What?
That's where all his grot mags are.
It's a bit of a way to get them out, though, isn't it? Cut into the base of your own drawer. Yeah.
For in case of emergency. Honk if you're horny, innit? Yeah. I'm so horny.
The cops are arriving, so they have to go. So they get into their big Jeep thing, and they're followed again by a black Merc.
This is the slowest chase scene that I've ever seen, not on a horse-drawn cart.
I loved it.
I was like, is this slower than the Christian coronavirus chase?
It feels it. And that was all in third gear, as I recall.
That was all in third gear, and it was sped up. So you could tell they'd driven it very slowly. This is, again, no stakes. Lowest energy car chase ever.
His big maneuver, because she urges Andrew to do something about it, and his big maneuver is to turn left and then do it 4 more times.
We're back where we started. That's a square.
This will confuse him. He'll never think I'll go left again.
He's going to go left. Surely he can't go left again. He'll go right and anticipate. No!
He'd have to indicate, didn't he? But yeah.
And he gets him by pulling over into the hard shoulder very quickly.
He skids to a halt and they do good.
Jarring her shoulder. Oh, no.
And the car just fucks off. It's like, I didn't see that coming. I'll just keep going. I can't turn
I'm
left.
Stuck in traffic. Yeah.
Absolute shite.
So they go back to the B&B all hurt. And he says Logan, who employs him, wouldn't want her to be hurt. And then he gets all romantic and they slam faces together.
So much wet kissing noises.
Oh, yes.
This is why it's not on dove.org.
I did search for it, it's not.
It won't be on dove.org. There's guns, there's harpoons, there's deep kissing. All the things dove.org hates.
Whalers on the moon.
Neptune.
She gets up the next day and she
again, supposed to be one night. There 2 nights. Hope she brought enough underwear.
No, she couldn't fit. She couldn't fit all the underwear in because she was busy with cocktail dresses.
Yeah.
How much is this now? It's about $170, isn't it? Getting expensive.
And she's she's on holiday, isn't she?
And we've kind of missed the point that every time they go into a room somewhere in this fully booked up B&B where there's nobody except creepy B&B owner is kind of in the periphery at every bit. And you're like, oh, hang on, is he part of this? Oh,
it's a hotel, isn't it? Everyone's banging.
Those stags on the wall. He's fucked them, isn't he?
him and Crocs the hospital bummer. It's like the gimp's asleep, isn't it? It's Ted. This is taking a turn.
Yeah.
She phones up her contacts at the paper.
She's overheard him saying how he's watching her. Andrew says that he's watching her right now. So she's like, ooh, phones a paper, yeah.
And gets him to run a face through the fucking police.
Yes.
Mugshotsearch.com. Which isn't a thing the public would have access to.
Hang on, I'm going to search for mugshotsearch.com.
If it just gives you a load of mugshots, the delicious lunchtime snack.
That doesn't advertise on this, probably should.
Oh, it can't be reached either. I thought it was going to be another piece in the puzzle.
No, there is no puzzle here. The puzzle is shite. The puzzle is 2 pieces. Puzzle is for 2 and up. 4 pieces. It's an elephant.
They run mugshots on that, and it comes up with Frank Johnson.
Yeah. Who the fuck's Frank? He's the guy from the original case that her dad and John Ratzenberger were involved in.
Right.
I believe he was like the guy they were trying to take down. I think. I don't know.
It was Charles Peterson, wasn't it? They were trying to
fuck
down,
knows.
So...
I don't know.
None of it matters.
No.
Andrew at this point is very, very advancey, very in a face. He says, "Oh, we can meet for lunch at a pizza place. I know it doesn't have raw prawns all over the surfaces of it. We're definitely not going to get salmonella there.
And there's no dancing. Yeah, she's like, I just want to go and spend some hours upstairs away from you because you keep jumping out at me. It puts me on edge. But her boss on the phone is like, yeah, you can't use work shit when you're suspended.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I'll write a load of articles for you. And he goes, oh, all right then. I was like, this is terrible. This is no way to...
Next.
She goes to prison to meet Frank. So Frank Johnson is that man with tattoos all over him.
Oh, yeah, she goes to fucking
he doesn't look
prison.
like a Frank Johnson.
He looks like non-union machete. Is what it looks like.
Secateurs.
He's the one that comes in singing Good King Wenceslas, isn't he?
Yeah. I like the fact she goes to prison, just gives him a thing and says, I'm here to see Frank Johnson. And they go, okay, come in. That's how prison works. No touching.
And she's taken a leaf out of Andrew's book because she notices his tattoo, which has a date on it, and she says, "You've lost someone. I've lost someone too." And then he goes, "There's a savings bank account number in the Cayman Islands."
He fucking sings like a canary, doesn't he? Like,
it's like they just ran out of time or something.
They never broke me in Sing Sing. And yet this one woman going, you've got a tattoo. Oh, okay, then it's a fair cop.
So she goes to search that account number in another place that it looks like an art gallery or something. I don't know. No, it must be like the local library.
It'd be a library, yeah.
The password. She tries a few of it. Go on.
She tries. She tries password.
Yeah.
Does she not try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Which sounds like the combination an idiot would have on his luggage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, that's the same code I have on my luggage. Let me in.
Yes, in caps as well.
It's Bray Wyatt. That's fun. If you like wrestling, that's a good joke.
Reference for nobody.
A
reference for your other podcast. Yeah.
They don't listen.
Nobody's listening.
So it turns out that this account belongs to Charles Peterson, her dad's last case, and Logan is named as a transferee.
Yeah, they paid him. So she's like, oh, John Ratzenberger, you rotter.
And then she goes, oh, this must mean, and she gets out a handy Scrabble board. That's right next to her. And she spells out Jack Semrel, and then she does it again, and then she spells out jerk camels, and she's like, oh no, that's not right.
Travel Scrabble Death. Huh? Game of Travel Scrabble Death.
And she does it again, and it's dad's name, James Clark.
I don't know. It's not like Tom Marvello Riddle, is it? It's not like
no
Jack Jones and then John Jack.
So many steps if she'd noticed earlier.
And she's like, shit, he's still alive. Let's go to a boat for some reason.
Yeah, well, she runs away from Andrew, and then they do a very quick let me explain. And he's like, well, Logan just said to keep a watch over you. And she's like, oh, all right then. So it's not even a full let me explain. She
runs down the stairs going, get away from me. And then the B&B owner goes, oh. And then does nothing, the coward. And then they're like, oh, wait, let's team up and solve this fucking case. It's been going on for ages now.
Dad must have faked his own death. They
Yeah.
decide to go back to that apartment. James Nesbitt, the B&B man, asks if she can sign a name on the New York Ledger. That's the people that she works
That's
for.
the one she works for, yeah.
I can't think of a single person that I would want to sign.
Oh no, it's a book. It's one of her books.
I thought it was a paper.
She's written a book. And he wants it to sign. Yeah, they
I bet
love
it's
her
called
book.
something like Against the Grain or something.
Him and my wife Dolores.
Is that what it's called?
Which no one's called. Yeah, the wife's
All
called
right.
Dolores.
We never
she's
see
not
Dolores.
in it.
She's very Mrs.
Dolores
Mannering.
is in
No,
the
what's the
basement.
book called?
I
don't know.
didn't see the title of the book.
My Bookie Wook or something like that.
Yeah. It's called
Something really well written like that.
Crimes! Exclamation mark.
That time I found an egg in the top of the Chrysler building.
And an upside down exclamation mark at the start because it's Spanish crimes.
Hey.
They go back to this thing and then they get an address for this boat.
But
he
the only
searches it,
reason-
doesn't he?
Yeah,
go
they
on.
only spot it because even though they've turned this flat upside down, the one thing that they hadn't done was removed this dust blanket off of the boat, and the boat was called Becky.
Yes.
And they look at the picture of is it the mum? And she's got the sweater on and it says Becky. It's like, her name isn't Becky. Maybe it's the name of a boat. What?
No, your name's Rebecca, and Becky is short for Rebecca.
Yeah.
He searches something, and I've put down that it's alltheboats.com, and I don't know if I've made that up or whether that's just what it was, because it's very plausible.
Was it Barry's Boats?
Barry's Boats Basement and Discount Puncietas.
He does it all.
Yeah. And bargain barters.
He's a one-stop shop for mysteries.
He'll also deliver you 10 tons of ruined shrimp.
Hey, if you eat it, just me and you, giant whirring hat.
Incredibly, there's no other registered boats called
Becky in this area, and it turns out it's in the same town.
It's in the marina, yeah.
Yeah. All this time they could have been down the docks getting antics, but no.
We've missed this bit here where we now we know it's John Ratzenberger. We see this person that it keeps moving to in these driving gloves. It's now John Ratzenberger, and you know he's a baddie because he's stroking his beard like a proper baden. No.
He's not. He's just rubbing food down his throat.
Like a pelican.
That's how he eats.
Like when you give a dog a tablet and you've got so they go to this boat. They just walk onto this guy's boat and start poking about. And then her dad appears with a harpoon and goes, "Put him up," or something to that effect. And she turns around and goes, "Dad," and then they hug.
Yeah, and turns out it was all a scam. What he did was he got into a canoe in Hartlepool and just went out to sea. Just for the insurance money.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I had to do it to protect you and your mum," or some fucking horse shit.
And that's why we sent you away to boarding school. Your mum didn't want to do that. That's why they fell out all them years ago.
Yeah, something like that. Doesn't matter. Ratzenberger shows up, waddling down to the...
He waddles down. Looks like he's on the same eating and workout plan as Steven Seagal in all his later films, doesn't he?
He was like, "We're going to be down the marina. Let's try and impersonate a walrus." He comes shuffling down there.
I hear Kevin Smith's looking for someone in his new movie, which would have been roughly about this time.
Yeah. He comes down holding this pistol in his flipper, and he's like, "You shithouses, right? We could have got away with it, but no, you had to stay alive, didn't you? And
how could you abandon your family, etc., etc."
Yeah, and it's like, whatever. And her dad goes to have a fight with him, but he's shit. Doesn't fire the harpoon at him. No, goes to punch him. I was like, harpoon the man. And then they go and run away. He takes a shot at him, but it clips Andrew. And then Rebecca picks up an oar and just twats him with it.
He gets all very talented Mr. Ripley at that point, doesn't he?
And at no point does Andrew turn around and say, "Oh, look at you sticking your oar in."
Yeah.
Oh,
see, that's it. That's what he should have done. No, he's just going, "I've been shot."
No, because it's all very serious at this point still.
Yeah, this is the big climax of the film, and I was laughing because she just proper pangs him with that oar. He goes down next to his dad, they're both old men on the floor. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we fast forward to, I don't know, a couple of days later, and dad's there, and he loves the dog, and she's bought some cookies, and he says, "Oh, these are," and he literally takes a bite, and before it's even touched his tongue, he's like, "Oh, these are amazing. They're very good. It's Mum's recipe. Oh yeah, Mum always did make a good thing." And
was it in that snow globe?
That's what I was thinking. Was the recipe pushed up inside the green sleeve snow globe?
And then there's not a fucking beat. There's not even a beat of anything. And then Andrew Steele comes out with his arm in a sling. All they needed to do was give it maybe another 5 seconds, talking about how sad it was that they've lost someone they loved and how. But they didn't. Even he's out straight out like that. By the way, I'm shagging your daughter.
It's very priest chat. I say the best way is to just tell him quickly he's dead and he's not coming back. Get over it. Well, it is. Yeah, he comes out and then he's like, her dad's like, "Oh, so what are your intentions?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to protect her as best I can." And then he's like, "Right, what else?" And I was like, "Fuck, this is so."
This is painful.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, and what about grandchildren?" And he's like, "Christ, I haven't even fingered her yet."
All we've done is wet kissing.
Yeah,
in front of the dog and all.
Yeah, and then they call over the dog and like, "Oh, good night, Murray," or something. It's just
and Murray's like that. Bow wow.
And then mercifully it ends.
Yeah, I have to say that this isn't a mystery. It's like you said, it's a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
it's a series of events that happen. There's
it's
no
island hopping, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no twist in the tale. It's even Midsummer.
There's no real payoff either. Like, what happens with Charles Peterson and his nefarious schemes?
Yeah, what happens to Ratzenberger once he's been twatted with an oar?
That might have actually killed him.
Yeah,
or caused him enough brain damage.
All those
How does that affect a relationship with Mary, his daughter?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Now that is where we should be seeing the fallout, but no.
The sequel.
Christmas
Will
cookies.
Doris ever receive the signed book?
Good question. And did Al
get fired for tampering with the US Post?
Definitely.
Also, she transferred her job to LA as well.
Oh yeah.
Not that matters, but I feel like that's the completion of that story.
I would argue there's probably more murders in LA, and she's on about it being a small town job. I think probably LA's a little bit scarier than New York.
I think depending on which bit.
Isn't it bigger as well?
There's probably a lot less chuds, but other than that, yeah, you're right.
I think in terms of yeah. But I mean, I fucking hated this. It just dragged on and on. There was no real jeopardy at any point, and at the end, I was like, oh. Right, that's that then, I guess. Yeah. So I'm going to give it 2 bronze Scrabble tiles.
Oh, very good.
An F and a U.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really get bored. I was just very confused. So I'm going to go with 4 magic percolators.
Oh, I was giving it 2 glass percolators, which obviously you can't put on a stove.
You can. It will just explode.
Oh, that's proper hunting music, that is. So that was A Christmas Mystery, or Secret Past. That was released in 2014. It's also known as, in Spanish, as Pasado Secreto, which I thought was really funny.
Does that mean the secret poinsettia?
And has it got like an upside down exclamation at the start?
Aye. There we go. Circle's complete.
2014, that's when we had Interstellar. That's where we were introduced to Michael Caine on his deathbed doing his best sexual harassment panda impression.
This is a better film.
You're saying that this is a better film than Interstellar? Yeah, I'll back that up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could hear
certainly better than Tenet. Anyway.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Maleficent, Guardians of the Galaxy. That feels like so long ago.
I am getting massive John on 100 Things We Learned from Film vibes from you here, James, of him just going, hang on a sec, that's a film. Yeah, hang on, I'm just looking at some films here, and that's a film. Oh, do you remember film? That's how this bit is. I like it.
Shot in Crescenta, Montrose. And it wasn't actually done in Canada. It's California that it was shot in.
No.
There you go.
Did you say Montrose? I thought you meant like the northeast of Scotland.
Yes, very much what it's named after. It's honoured in a Woody Guthrie song after it suffered a great flood in 1934. It also, according to Wikipedia...
Oh, that's okay then. Good
Montrose, not this film. Because I was like, Woody Guthrie did a song about this film. Oh, Rebecca Clark, your father is dead.
It suffered a 16% drop in population in 1980, according to Wikipedia, for reasons that it doesn't list. It's just the population tab at the side.
Everyone just got up and left like REM's Everybody Hurts.
It was the rapture.
It lists that its name is made up. La Crescenta does not mean the crescent in Spanish, which would be El Creciente. Apparently, one of the earliest settlers, Benjamin B. Briggs, could see 3 crescent-shaped formations from his house, which suggested to him the artificial name, which was accepted by the US Post Office in 1888. Another thing that the Post Office has done wrong in this film.
I mean, Jack Donger would be furious.
So what did he see? Were they his cataracts?
three
Was people just juggling croissants
faces
outside his window?
I just love that he came up with a fake Spanish word. So they just
I've done
now
that.
that's the name.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Hadleyville. There was a lot of Christmas under wraps personnel on this, including director Peter Sullivan, producer Peter Schenk, and the writer who we got from Merry Christmas last time, Joni Kane. So I'm not going to do any of them. They've already been done. They've had enough airtime as it is. Rebecca, did anybody recognise her?
She was out of Game of Thrones, isn't she?
Yes, it's Roz from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I was going to say, is she not one of those mannequins that comes to life in the first Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston? She's wooden as fuck, mate.
Yeah, she is
No, Esme Bianco from St Albans.
That means white Esme.
Matt Bianco.
Why are you so fucking shit?
What's Esme in Spanish? She's also been in Scorpion King 4. Too many scorpions.
All the scorpions. One of our Scorpion Kings is missing.
There's a Scorpion
I didn't
King
realise.
4. Wow.
That's what I thought. I didn't know.
I don't think there is. I think somebody told her there was a Scorpion King 4. They lured her into a basement and they just filmed her for 2 hours.
Take your top off, love. The Scorpion King will love that.
Andrew was played by Ryan Bittle. He had a bit part in Buffy, and he was also in Dawson's Creek, apparently. I do feel like he's slightly familiar. That's probably why.
I was going to say, is he not part of like the Initiative or whatever it was called in Buffy? He looks like one of the boy soldiers.
Yeah,
he looks like one of them. I think he's only in it for like an episode, so I don't
I got to love with you, lads. I've just looked up Scorpion King 4, Quest for Power, which I think is also the same name.
It's not called Too Many Scorpions.
Starring Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, yes, boy.
Rutger Hauer, Barry Bostwick, and Michael Bean.
I think we found our next
What
film.
a cast!
Who's putting that together? That's a dream team.
I don't think, and I'm looking at the poster, and it looks like the superimposed photographs in this film. The film continues the story of Matthias after events in Scorpion King 3, Battle for Endor. Redemption. There you go. Wow.
Well, there you go.
King of the Castle.
The dad was played by John Colton. He's been in a lot of things, but Katie found out that he was in the Butthole Surfers music video Pepper, and she found the name Butthole Surfers so funny that I had to include it.
Did she say, I'm a butthole surfer and I'm with stupid?
Logan, obviously, John Ratzenberger, big-time voice actor who's been in every Pixar movie up to Luca. Got his break. Cheers.
You say big-time voice actor, but he's only in those Pixar films because he just keeps coming back. Like, he keeps reading on IMDb. He's got IMDb Pro. He pays a little bit extra a month for IMDb Pro. And he sees when things are coming out. And he turns up and he's like, hey, Sammy, when are you going to put me in this? With, like, his postal bag and everything.
I mean, with all the shit that's gone down at Pixar,
do you reckon he still does? He still shows up. And everyone's like, where's Norm? Like, Norm's dead.
Macaulay Culkin and Michael Jackson killed him with that really loud music in that video.
It's just me, Cliff, now.
And Woody.
And I'm going postal.
He's done some real shit in his time as well, including, and I think we might have mentioned this before, I don't know, I feel like it keeps invading my dreams, Battle Truck, aka Warlords of the 21st century.
No, Battle Truck has been mentioned several times.
Because I don't know if there was just a theme in the 80s of a Battle Truck.
Was Battle Truck not the thing we couldn't get? I'm pretty
Battle
sure
Truck
Joe
3,
tried to get it.
Too many Battle Trucks. I don't know.
Whose Battle Truck is this? I'm a Battle Truck. Get me out.
Where's my Battle Truck? He was also in a Christopher Lee adventure film, Arabian Adventure. which feels like Sinbad adjacent territory.
Why do I get the feeling Ratzenberger was browned up for that?
I think he has got a name like Ahmed or something.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
yeah.
I've just, right, because we knew at work for a time, right, we used to play higher or lower on Cameo. So you start with someone, right? It's a fun game to pass some time. And the standard unit of currency was 1 Ratzenberger, which was 75 quid, right? He's now jacked his prices up to a ton.
What?
Based on this podcast. He's preemptively put his prices up.
Is there any money in the slush fund to get him to promote this podcast?
I ain't paying 100 quid for John Ratzenberger unless he comes waddling round my house and I can feed him Tunnocks tea cakes until he's sick.
Yes, please. And that's it. That's all the facts there is. Oh, it sounds like the beginning of Atmosphere, then.
Yeah, it's quite good. Right. Not a lot of love for this film, unsurprisingly. I did manage to find one high review, but a lot of these were 1 out of 10. So we'll do some of those first. IRL Lewis, and then some numbers. August 2016, 1 out of 10. Terrible movie. Just watched this movie. I had to write a review and warn others. Worst TV movie I had ever seen. And I've seen a lot of TV movies in 60 years.
Ooh.
This girl cannot act. Truly a waste of film. Horrible. He's fucking laying in here, isn't he? Horrible. Don't waste your time. Weak story, but plausible. Where did this actress come from? Really bad. Who thought this movie was good? I mean, really. I doubt it will ever replay on TV. Maybe Schiffer needed to fulfill a contract or something. No emotions whatsoever. A score of 1 is way too much. It was like a bad dream. Can't believe they would produce this. Be warned. Even the ending was bad.
Especially the ending was bad. I think it's probably more like it.
I'm not sure I want to know Lewis in real life.
No,
he's an angry man.
He's at least 60 years old and watches a lot of made for TV. It's going to be me in the future, this, isn't it? It's just me ranting on the internet. Right? 8 out of 10 by Jude Comer 1. Christmas 2019. Christmas mystery, romance. Oh, sorry. Christmas mystery, romance. Wasn't a comma on the first one. 3 great components. Someone gave a review that they didn't know where the dog disappeared to. Evidently, they didn't watch it to the end of the movie. I love this movie. It shows heart, compassion, and not your usual holiday movie, because it doesn't really take place at Christmas. The only reason I gave this an 8 was because it wasn't like a Martin Scorsese movie or a huge masterpiece.
Is that because there was no paint it black or anything like that in it?
They could do it, but it'd have to be by a jazz quintet at a fucking jazz
in a Christmas stylings.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Paint it black, but with jingle bells. However, it is truly enjoyable with just the right amount of each component. That is Christmas, mystery, and romance. There were a few discrepancies, but they weren't really too obvious. Julie Comer's prepared to let it slide. Like, she's happy. And finally...
that's it, is it?
That's it. Yeah, she just, I'm bored of writing now. I'm going to go off and shove
Into
loads
a
and loads of paper down the toilet. And finally, 1 out of 10. How did the PI know where she lived? By Mary Coyle, some numbers, December 2021. Maybe because the address was on the stack of Christmas cards you gave him. I had to turn it off at this point. It was dreadful. I'm sorry I never got to see Murray the dog. It sounds like he was the highlight of the entire thing.
It sounds like he was the talk of the town.
How did she
Where
know?
is he? Where's
if
the
she
dog?
turned it off as soon as he came in with them cards, how would she know Murray the dog was even in it? He's not on the opening credits, is it? Starring Baxter as Murray the dog. You're full of shit, Mary Coyle. Come at you. That's it. Like,
Spoiler shit.
I hated this. It made me angry in an unusual way. Normally, I can see the joy in these things, but this, she should stick to doing her sexual assault lift films.
I don't know. I've seen Chupacabra versus the Alamo.
That had guns.
It's not that bad.
It had stakes.
Yeah, it had an exploding Alamo.
All right then. I've watched 2020: The World Enslaved by a Virus.
That had a man eating. We had to phone a priest to find out if you ate.
Oh, we did.
How much bread would you have to eat to constitute an entire Jesus? And can you use other food if you haven't got any bread? Can you have spaghetti as the hair of Jesus and stuff?
I've watched Titanic: The Legend Continues.
As I recall, the response was, "This is an ecumenical matter." In conclusion, that was 2014's Secret Past, aka A Christmas Mystery. I mean, are there any favourite lines from the film?
Bet you spent your time abroad. I'm going to say England, London.
All caps. Let me in.
Yo, bro, I'm going to go and get a burger for lunch.
And I saw before me 4 horses.
A body in the ground to be resurrected by Jesus. Don't know why he's mocking. Oh, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you next time.
If you like what we do, please consider giving a small donation to Manchester's Wood Street Mission. We know times are incredibly difficult for everyone out there, but anything that you can spare goes a long way towards helping some of Manchester's poorest at Christmas. There'll be links in the show notes. If you can donate, that's fine. You're under no obligation to. This will still be free. We just wanted to use what little tiny reach we had to try and make Christmas better for everyone.